Welcome to Top 5 Auto Advice. The ECU must not only know the position of the piston in order to know when to inject fuel, but it must also know how much fuel to inject. And in order to know how much fuel to inject, it must first know how much air is entering the engine, so that it can inject a corresponding amount of fuel. This is precisely what a MAF, or mass airflow sensor, does for the ECU. It informs the ECU about the amount of air entering the engine. Most mass airflow sensors today are either hot wire or hot film. They are no longer the same. And the hot film sensor is a little more sophisticated. However, they both rely on the same fundamental principle, that of extremely high temperatures. Resistance coefficient of certain metals, such as platinum or tungsten. Because of these metals' extremely high temperature coefficient of resistance, even very small temperature changes in these metals will change their resistance. As a result, when air passes over these metals, the temperature changes. The resistance changes as more air flows over it. And the mass airflow sensors onboard electronics measure this, and then convert the signal into data that the ECU can use. Obviously, this is just a basic operating principle. And a mass airflow sensor is both more complicated and more interesting. A mass airflow is typically located immediately after the air cleaner housing and the air filter housing. If it isn't there, it'll be somewhere after the air filter housing. However, before the throttle body. The engine will not start if a mass airflow fails completely. If it's just starting to fail, or if it's a little dirty, then it will send the incorrect data to the ECU. As a result, the ECU will inject the incorrect amount of fuel. You can also expect a rough engine, a poor idle, hesitation during acceleration, stumbling engine, and poor mileage.